Hey everybody, welcome to Fit Tip Tuesday. Today I'm going to continue on with a subscriber's question about adding room for a prominent tummy in a man's shirt. Now you can actually use this technique to make room for a prominent tummy in a women's shirt too. And I do want to say part of her question or part of her comment was she tried to add room to her husband's shirt, but what happened was most of the extra or some of the extra she added basically just hung out and sort of winged out on the sides. And I want to show you why that happened, and then I want to show you how to add room so it doesn't happen. Okay. In front of me here I have a front of a shirt pattern. It's just a basic front. It could really be any shape. So you can see I have a neckline here. And again, that could be a V-neck or a scoop neck or a crew neck, whatever. I have my armhole and I have my hem. And again, your hem could be a shaped hem, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can do this technique on any style shirt front. So if it's a full front, so like if you look at your pattern and it's a full front with two shoulders and two armholes, I would cut it in half, do the adjustment, and then make a full front again by tracing it onto a folded piece of paper. Because if you have a full front, then you'd have to do twice the work to adjust each side, and sometimes it's hard to get it exactly the same. So I'm working with half of the front, and I just want to show you here, if you are thinking to yourself, I want to just add some room for a prominent tummy, and you do something like this, okay, some version of this, and you add to the side, what's going to happen with this fabric is some of it may get taken up by a full tummy, but some of it's going to just hang out there and create like a little flingy kind of thing under your arm, and it hangs out under your arm. So this is not the way to do it. All right, so now that I showed you what does not work by just adding to the side, let me show you what will work. You want to evenly distribute the extra that you're adding within the pattern, and you also want to add some extra length, because it's not just about adding width when you're trying to get over and around a bump. And I mean, it could be a belly, it could be your bust, or it could be your backside. When you're adding room for a prominent curve, you're adding width and length. So that's why when you just add it to the side, like I just showed you, that fabric tends to just hang out there, and it may give you some ease, but it probably wings out because it's not long enough, and it kind of gets trapped under the arm when you just add to the side seam. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw a guideline. First, let's just draw a straight line across the pattern, about a ½ inch to an inch underneath the armhole. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a couple vertical lines. And these vertical lines are going to control how much the pattern spreads when I cut across this horizontal line. I'm going to draw the first vertical line underneath the neckline. I'm going to draw a second one centered in the shoulder area. And I think that might be enough. Let's see what happens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut through my center front to my side seam, and then I'm going to get rid of this extra paper here so I can create a hinge. So you can see what this is doing is we can create length this way, right? But you can see as we spread this open, it's really wreaking havoc with our center front, which we want this to stay straight. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut through the hem on this first vertical guideline, and what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to keep my center front straight. Okay, so you can see this opens up down here, and now it's straightening that out. Okay, so let's say we're going to add, I think in this case I'd like to add, for this example, let's say a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to tape the top portion of my pattern to the sticky note here, and I'm just going to make a 1/2 inch guideline. Okay, so I've got my guideline. Then I'm going to spread this second guideline as well, because I want to be able to open this up evenly. And watch what happens when I bring the horizontal line up to that 1/2 inch line. Look what's happening to my two vertical lines. They're spreading evenly to add room for more ease. Okay, so let me just tape that in place so I can show you. So I've added my 1/2 inch of room vertically. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to secure these. Let me see if I can fit them on both on one Post-it note here. I'm going to secure this middle one. For this example, at the hem, I've added almost an inch between these two guidelines that I spread. So let me just fill this in with blue paper so you can see. All right, and then I just need a little bit more for right under here. All right, so you can see now I have spread this pattern in a way where I have not affected how the neckline and the armhole fits. So if the top of the pattern is fitting nicely, we just wanted to add for the tummy. You can see what I've done here is I've added all this space vertically and horizontally to create room for a prominent tummy. Now in this instance, I did not add to the side seam. So you need to pay attention to that depending on the shape of your belly. Some bellies are really compact and in the front. And in that case, you may not need to add to the side seam, because if you were to measure from your underarm down the side, if you don't have any curve there, it may be that the side seam can stay the original length. But if you have the kind of tummy that kind of, let's say if you look in the mirror in the silhouette of it, you can see your belly in the silhouette or the side, from the sides, then you might want to add a little bit more length here too. And in that case, you can just, extend your hem down and then connect it back in with, with your center front, just to give yourself a little bit more room. But that really depends on the shape of your belly, if it's affecting your side seam. But remember, if you add it to the front, you're going to have to extend the side seam in the back as well. And just to wrap this up, let me just review the important things here. You want to make sure your center front is staying straight. I'm just going to redraw this darker so you can see that that's stayed straight. These two vertical lines that you slash through, but you don't open here, open up to give you the horizontal room you need across your pattern, and this slash line gives you the vertical length you need. So I hope you find this helpful. If you have any questions about adding room for a prominent tummy, or anything else for that matter, I really love it when I go through my questions and answer people's questions or comments on my, in my channel. And if I find a good question, I really love using it as a topic, because then I know I'm helping at least one person at the time in which they need it. So that's why I really love doing Q&A. Next week on Fit Tip Tuesday, we're going to take a close look at my Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface cutting mat, and I'm going to show you how to care and maintain it. I'm going to show you how to use the Big Mat scraper that comes with every mat to care and maintain the surface. So that's what we're going to be doing next week, so I hope you'll join me for that. It's going to be really fun. I absolutely love this cutting mat. If you're interested in details about this cutting mat, you can look below in the video, because I put a link to their Etsy store. So if you're in need of a new cutting mat, please check that out because so far it's been very Jennifer proof. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this Fit Tip Tuesday, and I will see you Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for another FabFit Friday.